Welcome back, y'all. In case you're a little bit confused, the channel name has changed. It's no longer Two Old Boys, now it's No Bad Days. Thought behind that is a day is just a day. It's what you make of it that matters. If you want to dwell on the bad stuff, it's going to end up being a bad day. If you want to dwell on the good stuff, it's going to be a good day. But a day is just a day. It can't be good or bad. It's only the situations that come into your life that makes your day good or bad. And I'm trying to choose from this day on to have no bad days. I might have some bad situations during the day, but I'm not going to let them bad situations keep kicking me down and making me stay down and depressed and in a bad mood. So let's get on with the video. Behind me here is my 2020 Roxor. I have it pulled up beside my 83 Chevrolet square body just for reference. You can see the Roxor's a good bit taller, and I'm going to go over the lift and all with you. I've lost all my video of me lifting it and all that, and I've lost a lot of them for when I went to the off-road park a few weeks later. But anyway, this is the 83 Chevrolet short wheelbase step side Chevrolet pickup, half ton with 6-inch lift sitting on a set of 36s. This is my 2020 Mahindra Roxor sitting on a set of 44-inch monster motor gumbo motors made by South Gateway back in the day. They don't even make these tires no more. I just had this old set sitting around and thought it'd be cool to stick them on here. I'm probably going to end up running 40s for the most part, 37s to 40s, something like that. I'm not sure yet. Later in the video, you'll see I'll flex it out for you, and you can see what rubs and what don't rub. But let's get into this video, and I'll show y'all some of the headaches that I had with my lifts, being I was putting two of them together. Wade from Diesel Freaks has been a big help. He's the one that I get all my parts from my Mahindras. And unless I'm at an off-road park or something and have to have something right then, I just wait a few days and wait to have it to me to 3 to 5 days. Just depending on if he has it in stock or not. So let's get into this video. Let's have a little fun on this hill, see what it does. That was it idling in low range, first gear. Had a lot of vehicles, they would grip and then they'd bog down. They didn't have the torque or the horsepower or whatever. This thing still was a stock ECM, and it just idles up stuff like that. I actually thought it was tipping over, but the back tire was getting up on the ramp. It's just barely touching, but it's touching. But yeah, you didn't hear any rubbing because it really isn't any. Even with a set of 44s on here, you still have plenty of room up and under here. So you can see, plenty of room. On this side, plenty of room. Back is rubbing on the back just a little. I mean, like I said, but I'm not going to be running these 44s, well, especially if I'm going to be flexing it much. If I was going to take it to Moab or something, I'd be running 37s or, I don't know, maybe 40s, but just so I'd have more room to flex without the tires getting hurt. This Roxor came with a factory lift. I've heard it's between 3 to 4 inches. I'm not sure, but I'll show you in a minute the badges on the side. It's got a factory lift, had a factory lift on it from the factory. Now it has a 2.5 inch Jeep springs on it, a Climax kit, and a rough country kit. Kind of mashed them all together and made me a kit. I'm really wanting to run 40s on this thing, but I had these 44s sitting around, and I thought, how cool would that be? And plus, I just wanted to see if the little thing would hold up. Now, I know if I go to jerking and snatching on the clutch like some moron, it's going to break stuff. But I have went to the off-road park. I have a few videos that I can show you on that, but not many. But all of the stuff I've got, my shocks, my lifts, all of that come from Wade from Diesel Freaks up in Michigan. So he hooked me up, so I'm sure he can hook y'all up with any questions you have. And I can't get a hold to Wade, hit me up in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have about my lift. But let me turn the camera around here, and I'll show you a few things that I got left I need to do. One of the things right off the bat you can see I need to do is it comes with another stabilizer shock. This up here, it comes with another one Rough Country sent that I have not put on yet. And back here on the back, it's not supposed to look like this. There's supposed to be a hole drilled right here, and I'm supposed to weld in a metal bushing for the actual rubber bushing to press in. I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. And right here is the reason why. I'm going to do something different with my exhaust, and I don't feel like taking it loose and apart and all that just to drill the holes. So whenever I put my tractor stack up here behind the front tire and in front of the windshield, then I'll drill the holes and do all that. It has a lot more travel with the Climax kit than it ever did with the factory kit. This thing was stiff as a board with the factory lift. Way stiffer than my 18 was with no lift. Let's go try the mud out. One of the problems I had with the lift is the lack of instructions, and this is one of them. In the lift, there's a hole here, but it doesn't say anything about drilling and putting a bolt in here to keep this from happening. I followed the directions as best I could, tried to read in between the lines as much as possible because there's not a whole lot of lines there to read. And anyway, but Wade at Diesel Freaks told me either weld them on permanently or drill a hole and put a bolt in. That's what he's doing at his shop on the ones that he's putting in. One thing you can see I need to do is I'm going to lower this down 1 inch or 2 to help my drive shaft angles some. The front does clink just a little bit. I did have to extend the front drive shaft, and the way I done it, being this is a off-road vehicle, I'm not using it on the highway or nothing. I cut it in 2 right along in here. I went to the local machine shop and got a piece of pipe that would just barely slide over the exterior of the original drive shaft, and it's actually drive shaft material. So anyway, and then stuck them in there, lined up the yokes. As you can see, lined up the yokes where they're not crisscrossed and all that from each other. You don't want them a quarter or half a turn off. So anyway, he put it back under here and brought it over here and flexed it. Mashed it all the way up in there like I did, and then left me just a smidge there. As you can see, it's got all the pressure on it, so it's as far in as it's gonna go. And I left just an extra little bit just for in case. And then I tacked it together. I brought my welding machine over here, tacked it together, and then when I got it in the shop, I welded it solid. The back one I haven't extended yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna have to, because once I lower the transfer case in the transmission, it's gonna bring that down, so this gap's gonna be less, and then I'll know if I need to extend it, and if I do, I'll know the proper length. This one here, of course, is going to come together more, but I think it's going to be like right there. It's going to be real close. I might have to cut one end loose of the other, take a grinder and cut it loose, and then let it pull together a little bit, and then re-weld one end. Another thing I had problem is these plates here. I believe there's supposed to be 3 different ones because of the placement of the U-boats, the way they come. So you have to have the notches cut just right or what have you. And the tie bolt. Every one of the tie bolts, instead of welding them here on the non-important side, the flat side, having a tie bolt welded in here, they put the weld up here, and it got in the way of the tie bolt going in the hole of the rear end, up in the saddle. So what I done was, you can't see it on that one because I done repainted it, but what I done was I took and welded it and ground it back down and kind of smooth. You can see that one still kind of. What's happening was they wasn't coming together. It was a big old gap there, so I had to grind the weld down and redo that. And then on this one, which that one's the same way, I just got it perfectly perfect, I guess. You can see it's trying to come out right there. But I ended up with 3 of these plates all the same. And as you can see, they definitely don't fit on the back. These plates are the same as the plate that's up here on the front. And the plates on the front, they worked out perfect. The U-bolts are exactly where they're supposed to be. I mean, perfect. Let's see if I can get oh yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, and this one here, trust me, it's not coming out. That's the way it was welded. It wasn't flush like the other three. So I don't know. I don't know if rough country's starting to get crap. I'm starting to make crappy products. I don't know. I've run rough country on most Chevrolets before and never had any issue with them. But I'm not satisfied with the rough country on for the Mahindra. It has nothing to do with Wade and them at Diesel Freaks. I mean, they just sell the things. It ain't they're not the one making them, you know. The jankiness of either one of the lifts is on the people that make them, not Wade and them that sell them. Being this is the first time that Wade has been involved with putting the two lifts together, he didn't know what length shocks it needed to be. So I brought it over and flexed it like I'm doing, all four corners, measured everything, and sent him the measurements. And that's how I ended up with the shocks. So Wade has been a big help. And if it wasn't for him, I'd still probably be trying to piece this thing together. You see in the picture beside the video here, the steel picture is with it. A few days after I got it was a set of 34s. This is with a set of 44s on it. A little bit of difference there. Whenever you go to build this Max Anthony kits, this Climax kit, just know this. This flat plate and the bottom flat plate are cut off center. You see here it's 5.5 inches here. 1 inch on this side. And an inch, there's an inch right there, and a half on this side. This side's longer than this side. You can tell just by my thumb. Well, do it like this. You can tell by my thumb. All right, I didn't know they was different lengths here and here until I got it welded together. And it ended up with two identical ones. So I've got both of my long sides pointing towards the driver's side. Sure as throwing the spring hangers off, and I mean the springs off to one side. I don't know. Haven't measured it. Really don't care. I'm not going to be driving it up and down the highway, so it doesn't really bother me. It was just the fact that the directions do not say anything about the offset, which way it goes and don't go. And I just didn't have enough bolts there. Reason why there's not a bolt in there. I gotta loosen these up, jack it up, put a bolt in, and then tighten everything back up. All right, y'all, to give y'all a little reference, I'm 5'8". I'm standing straight up. So there's the front bumper. Right there at the bottom of that bar, right there at the bottom of the pipe is right at 37 inches. The hood, right at 5 foot. Over here would actually be a little taller, but right here is 5 foot. Here's the height from the side. Like I said, I'm 5'8". The steering wheel button is where the horn button would be if it was a regular vehicle. It's 5'6". Yeah, she's pretty tall. On the Climax kit, it shows you a picture of what's supposed to be in the kit. And but there's no list telling you what part is what. You know, it's like there's not an index. I I know they're not going to do it just because I asked, but I wish they would put an index in here, because not everybody knows whatever little part of this homemade lift is, you know. I mean, I didn't, and I've been around a lot of this stuff before in my life, and I still didn't know exactly what everything was called. The last picture on here has a picture of a boat going through the rear spring hanger, the front rear spring hanger, but nowhere in the directions does it say that you should do that. And see, like, here's directions for putting the front spring hangers on, and you can look at this. You can stop it if you want to, but it don't tell you that it's offset. It needs to be more clear. See, then when you get through with it, that's the hole I got to drill out with a hole saw and put in my rear I was just showing you. Haven't done that yet because I don't want to jack with my exhaust yet. And then the last two pictures show this, which is what I was talking about. Bolt there and a bolt there. But I mean, there's no wording, just pictures. Unless you was like looking for that particular deal, I'm just assuming they're showing you a picture of the thing flexing. You know, I didn't catch that. All right, here's the rough country kit. Whenever you get the rough country kit, it'll come with this. Tells you every torque spec and all that you're going to need to know. And it tells you the sizes, all that kind of stuff. This is the rough country kit. It comes with a picture of everything that's going to be in the kit, and then it tells you what it is and how many of them there is. I wish the Climax kit had this in it. It would have helped out a bunch. Been a lot of less guessing. If you look, it tells you that the bottom pads are different. One's one way for the front right, one's another way for the front left, and the other two on the back are different. But I ended up with 3 of the same kind, so I just made it work. If you have any questions about your Mahindra, Wade at Diesel Freaks has pretty well all your answers. He has just about all the parts you're going to need. If he don't have it, he will order it and send it straight to you. They'll hook you up and treat you right. You don't have to worry about them trying to rip you off or nothing. I've had good luck dealing with Wade, and I highly recommend y'all. I've had good luck dealing with Wade, and I highly recommend y'all give him a call if you have anything you need to do with your Mahindra Roxor. All right, y'all, that's going to be the end of this video. If you will, give me a big old thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. And leave me a comment. I'm wanting to do some trail riding in the U.S. Let me know what off-road park you like to ride in, or what trails you like to ride, what state you're in, because I'm going to be doing some traveling before long, and I'd like to go around to different parks and all and ride y'all's trails. Appreciate all the support, and I'll catch you on the flip side. God bless.